Hey everybody, Iceycat here, bringing you the essential tips for Rainbow rookies. Rainbow Six Siege is a very different kind of game, and if you're coming from other first-person shooters, you may find yourself overwhelmed by the depth and complexity that it has to offer. First of all, communication is key in Rainbow. You need to let your team know what you're doing at all times. Let them know where you're going, what you're doing, if you got shot, where it came from. Anything that you see on the camera network, this is all valuable information. The game plays better with a microphone, so if you don't have one, invest in one. The experience will be better for it. Also, communication is a two-way street. Just like you need to be willing to pass on information, you need to be able to receive it and react to it. Play as a team, coordinate as a team. The more focused and concise you can keep your information, the better. If people are talking all over the place, they're not going to get a chance to say what they need to. Another tool built into the game for communication is the ping feature. If you look at the bottom of your HUD, you'll see the icon there. And when you press that, you'll place a yellow marker on any wall or surface. It'll also be paired up with a 3-second countdown. This is a visual indicator so that your team knows what you're talking about. So if you say this window or this door, you can pair that up with the ping, and they'll have a better idea of where specifically you're talking about. When it comes to movement in Siege, faster isn't always better. Slow it down a little bit. This game does not have regenerating health. There are no respawns. You get one life, and that's it. You might have some habits to unlearn from some other games, and that's okay. It's all about taking your time, slowing it down. Check your corners. Lean out whenever possible. You'll present a smaller profile for people to shoot at you. Make sure that you're behind surfaces that will give you some kind of cover. Some are destructible, some aren't. Also, use your stance changes. Going prone is very valuable for presenting a smaller profile and getting into areas where you wouldn't otherwise be able to see lines of sight. Being crouched will help you to move slower and more carefully, but you are going to have a slower reaction time. It's all about how you move through a map in a slow, tactical way. Whenever possible, pair up with another teammate. Leapfrog and cover each other as you advance. Keep an eye out for traps as you go. Moving fast will help you to step into those if you're not careful. Also, don't sprint if you can help it. When you sprint, you make a lot of noise that can be heard through walls, ceilings, and floors, and you'll be giving your position away if you're not careful. Another thing to remember is that destruction is key. In Siege, you can change the entire layout of the map as you play it. You can literally become a level designer on the fly by changing the sight lines, bringing down walls, or setting up reinforcements in new areas to change the flow of the choke points from round to round. Ambushes can be set on unsuspecting players by creating murder holes in walls and shooting from areas where they wouldn't expect it. Likewise, you can open up a hole in a wall and keep overwatch on an area where you can maintain a sight line while covering a separate area and have fast reaction to go back and forth between them. The operator's abilities and the complexity of the maps might seem a bit overwhelming at first. One of the best ways to sort of get a handle on this is to go ahead and play the game in the other modes. There's the single player situations, which are meant to kind of walk you through how to use various operators, various gameplay modes, and also get used to some of the levels. There are some differences towards the core gameplay, but you'll at least get a base familiarity. Also, the Terrorist Hunt co-op experience is going to be super useful for that. Instead of jumping straight into the player versus player arena right away, do some Terrorist Hunt, get used to the flow of the maps. Then when you jump into the more competitive areas, you'll have a better understanding of the way the levels are laid out, how to use your operators' gadgets, and things like that. So if you're new to Siege, try to keep these tips in mind while you're finding your footing. There's a lot here that's different than other games you may have played before, and there's a lot of complexity and depth as well. But if you stick with it and master the basics, you'll be able to change the gameplay on the fly and really come together as a team for the win. To find out more, follow the Rainbow Six community at rainbow6.wikia.com.